Hi, this is Gary. My name is Gary Jordan, and today I want to introduce you to what blind and visually impaired musicians do when we are learning music. And what we do are two choices primarily. We have the ability to listen to music and to learn it by what we hear. This is useful for singing, for single line instruments, single melody instruments like your flutes and your saxes and what have you. Guitarists sometimes do that, will often do that. And it works well with popular music, very popular music forms. Where it starts falling apart is your more complex music like jazz, excuse me, classical music, or if you are required to be precise and play the exact notes that's required. So, what we do is we have these three formats that for blind and visually impaired user will use. Now, I used to be able to see a little bit, so I know what print looks like, so I can compare it a little bit. So, the first format is what we call single line format. And this is again for your single melody line instruments that can only play one note at a time, like your saxophone, your flute, your violins, your cellos, tubas, trumpets, and so on. And the reason I call it single line is just because of that. It's just got a line, line, line. And in the front of each line is the measure number. It tells you what measure you're in. So that's how you keep organized. The second format is what is called bar over bar. And bar over bar looks something like this. And it is used by pianists, harpsichordists, organists, and other such instruments, marimbas, xylophones I've been heard. And we use it because you have two things going on. You have in the case of a piano, which is behind me, you have two lines. You have your right hand and you have your left hand. And in another video, I'll explain why we do it this way. And the reason it's called bar over bar is because the beginning of each bar, the beginning of each measure, is lined up. You have a space between the measures, and that's our bar line in the Braille code. And so we have that. So we have that. And so we do that, and in the beginning we'll have your measure line just as before. The third common format is called line over line, and this is used by vocalists, your singers and stuff like that, and choir people. There's even a way to represent some of the stuff for SATB, which is soprano, alto, tenor, bass. But the basic line over line is you have your words, your lyrics, and you have beneath that, you'll have the musical notes representing what you are supposed to sing. And then you have, perhaps at the next line, you might have the chords. But it will always have the lyrics and what you are to sing, the notes of what you're to sing. And like I say, occasionally you'll have the chords. Excuse me. And this really works pretty well. And the reason they call it line over line is because at the end of a line, it's the words that count, not the measure you're in. Where a bar over bar, you try to end at the end of a measure. There's a way to carry over, but usually you end on a measure. And you have to carry over and start exactly on, when you carry over. So, but line over line, you do not have that. You have the end of the word count, your line counts. Your music, underneath the lyrics, has no bass, no bar line. So you have to count your music. And if the line ends and the measure's not ended, so much, bye-bye, it's down here. You gotta finish the measure down in the next line. So that's why they call it line over line. And the last, and probably the least commonly used format that is made today is what is called facsimile. Braille music. And this is for band directors, music teachers that have sighted students, and you have to know what's on the printed page, where it is. You got to know where the treble clef, the tenor, bass clef, the this and the that, and you have to know where they're positioned for the sighted student, or if you're a director of a choir or orchestra or a band or whatever. So that's not real common, and you probably have to get a specialty. You got to get a transcriber to do that for you. And God knows how that's done, because I don't. Anyway, so those are the four basic types, the three basic types, and the extra that is occasionally used by certain professions within the music field. So with that in mind, I will do a video. In fact, I will do a video. It may be one or maybe two, where I describe how we represent pitch, that is your notes, and your rhythms, and how this is achieved in a very logical and easy to, I shouldn't say easy to follow, but logical and sensible manner. The other thing to note about Braille music, for those that read literary Braille or are learning it, is that the Braille music code takes up way less space than your literary Braille. A great example is a Christmas collection that I check out from NLS every year, and I think it's called Christmas Favorites or something like that. It's got 3 volumes. One volume is just the music, and it's much smaller than the other two. The other two are all the lyrics to all the Christmas songs. So you have one volume, which is considerably thinner than the other two, and that's for all the music. So that should give you an idea how compact the Braille music code can be. So it's not like the literary Braille where you've got to really work to find the space for it. So with that in mind, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you want to hear more or hear some of my music. So thank you very much. Have yourself a wonderful day. Bye-bye.